Suppose the arrangement, that is the spring mass system, it consists the n spring, they are connected in the series. Then the equivalent stiffness we can find out by using the same relation. So consider this is a system K1, K2, K3 up to Kn, and this is the mass connected. So we can write 1 upon K equivalent. That means we have to convert this system into simple spring mass system. So this is the K equivalent. Okay, so this value of K equivalent we can find out by using this relation 1 upon K1 plus 1 upon K2 plus 1 upon Kn. Okay, so this is the relation to convert the multiple spring connected in the series into a single spring, that is called as a K equivalent. Now suppose system is parallel. So this is the parallel arrangement. And we have two springs. So take this as a K1 and this is the K2. Okay. And we want to convert these two springs into its equivalent spring. So this is the K equivalent. So how to find out the K equivalent? So here, this mass M, it will produce the force, which is the mg. Okay. And because of the mg, the complete system will get deformed by some displacement. So consider this is the deformation. So this is a delta. Okay. So for this case, delta, it is same for the spring K1 and for the spring K2. So both the springs, they are subjected to same deformation as they are connected in parallel. Okay. So delta is for the mass. It is equal to delta 1 for the spring K1 and it is equal to delta 2 for the spring K2. Okay. So this M, that is a total mass or total force mg. So it will get divided into spring K1 and spring K2. Okay, so this we can write the total mass, total mg force. So this is equal to m1g, that is some mass is carried out by K1 and m2g. Okay, so this m1g and this m2g, these are the forces acting on the K1 and K2. So we can write this total force as a F1, this total force as a F2. So this is equal to this is K into delta 1. F2 is equal to K2 into delta 2 and delta 1 is equal to delta 2. So we can write this as a K1 into delta plus K2 into delta. So that is equal to mg, and mg is nothing but the K equivalent into delta. Okay. So delta we can cancel out. So remaining value is K equivalent is equal to K1 plus K2. Okay. So this is the relation to find out the K equivalent for the parallel arrangement. Suppose we have the N spring. Like this. Then K equivalent is equal to just addition of individual stiffness. This is K1 plus K2 up to Kn. Okay, so this is how you can convert these series and parallel arrangement into equivalent spring stiffness. Sometimes this parallel arrangement, it is shown like this. Suppose this is the first spring K1, then we have mass. So K1 is constrained to this fixed support. Okay, then second spring is connected just below the mass, and this is the fixed support. Okay, so the student may interpret this as a series arrangement, but this is not a series arrangement. It is a parallel arrangement. So why this is parallel arrangement? In the parallel arrangement, all the springs, they are subjected to same deformation. Okay, and in the series arrangement, springs are subjected to different deformations. So how this arrangement becomes parallel arrangement? So just imagine you provide some displacement x to the mass. Okay, so because of this x displacement, K2 spring, it will get compressed by this amount. Okay, at the same time, K1 will be extended by the same amount. So K1 and K2, they are subjected to same deformation, and therefore this is a parallel arrangement. So we can convert this parallel arrangement like this. So this is the first spring K1. This is K2. This is the mass M. So now if you apply the force F or displacement X, K1 and K2, they will be subjected to same deformation X. Okay, and then you can convert this into equivalent system, that is a K equivalent. So all this system, its deformation or a displacement of mass M, it must be same. Okay, and this K equivalent, you can find out by this relation. Just add individual stiffness, so you will get the K equivalent. So this is how you can convert the system, that is a multi-spring system, into a single spring. Okay, so now we will solve some problems on the energy method, that is to calculate the natural frequency by using the energy method. So we should use the energy method specifically if the given system, it has some rolling element. Okay, that is if the system has a disk which is rolling on some horizontal surface or inclined surface. For such cases, we can use the energy method. Okay, because it is the easiest method to find out the natural frequency for these systems. Even we can use the Newton's second law, but we should use the Newton's second law if the system is the pendulum like. Okay, and for the rolling system, we should use the energy method. So let us see how to solve the problem by using energy method. Okay, so for the given system has one disk with mass M and its radius R. So it is rolling on this horizontal surface and it is constrained to this fixed support by using the spring K, okay, which is connected to its center. So if you give very small angular displacement theta to this disk, then this disk, it will start vibrating, okay. So we have to find out the natural frequency for this vibration. So here we will use the energy method. So for the energy method, we have the equation, the kinetic energy total plus the potential energy. So it is constant. Okay, so kinetic energy, it is associated only with this disk, which is having the mass m, and the potential energy, it is associated with the stiffness. So whenever you use the energy method, no need to draw the displace position, okay. So here I have drawn the displace position just to give you idea how the disk, it will move on the right side. So after giving the displacement theta, this center of gravity or the center of this disk, it will shift toward the right side by some displacement. And because of that, this spring K, it will get deformed. So this line, it represents the initial position of its center of gravity. After displacement theta, this center, it will just shift on the right side. So let's take this is the position, okay. And this spring, it will get deformed by some displacement. So this is the displacement of its center of gravity after giving the displacement theta, okay. So here you can observe the two motions simultaneously. One is the rotation of the disk, which is corresponding to angular displacement theta, and second, it is the linear displacement. So linear displacement, we should consider for the center of gravity, that is the x. So you can see here, this is the linear displacement with respect to its equilibrium point, that is a g, and this is the displaced point, that is a g dash. So this is x displacement, okay. So this combination, it will form the rolling motion. So whenever we provide the linear angular displacement theta to this disk, then it will start oscillating like this, okay. So at the same time, this point G, it will move in the linear direction. So that is the displacement is x. So this kinetic energy, it is the combination of these two energies. One is the rotational kinetic energy and second is the linear kinetic energy, okay. So this total kinetic energy of the system, so this is equal to kinetic energy for the linear motion plus kinetic energy for the rolling motion. So kinetic energy for the linear motion, we can use this equation 1/2 mass of the disk into x dot square, okay. So x dot square means it is the velocity which is corresponding to linear displacement x. And for linear motion, we should use the mass. So 1/2 m x dot square, this is a linear kinetic energy. For rolling motion, its kinetic energy will be, so for rotation, we should use the analogous terms. So 1/2, this mass will be replaced by the mass moment of inertia into this x dot, it will be replaced by angular displacement theta. So it will become theta dot square. Okay. So this is the equation for the kinetic energy. Now we have to find out what is the moment of inertia. Okay. For a disk, the moment of inertia about its center of gravity, that is a mass moment of inertia, is equal to m r square by 2. Okay. So use this relation m r square by 2. So this is solid disk, not a hollow disk. So m r square by 2. So put this value. So 1 by 2 m x dot square plus 1 by 2. This is m r square by 2 into theta dot square. So here you can observe there are two parameters. One is the x dot and second is the theta dot. Okay. But we are only considering the single degree of freedom system. So what is meaning of single degree of freedom system? Only one parameter is sufficient to describe the complete vibration of the system. Okay. So we can convert the theta into x parameter or x into theta parameter. Okay. So how we can convert this? So you can observe here, when the disk is rolling with angular displacement theta, at the same time, the center of gravity is displaced with linear displacement x. Okay. So if you construct here with respect to its initial point, so just I will extend this. So this is the x and this is the initial tangent point. Okay. From this point, if you just construct one right angle triangle, okay. So this is the r and this angle, it will become the theta angle. Okay. So we can write x is equal to or x upon r. So this is equal to tan theta. Okay, for very small angle, this will become theta. So x is equal to r theta. Okay. That means when the disk is rolling with angular displacement theta, it is linearly, center of gravity moves linearly by x displacement. So we can get the relation x is equal to r theta. Okay. So this is the same relation for the length of a sector. So if you consider the circle, so this length, so if this is a x and this angle is theta, this is a r, so we can write x is equal to r theta. Okay. So this is the same relation. So when the disk is rolling with angular displacement theta, its center of gravity, it advances in the linear direction by the r theta. So put this relation here. So either you can convert x into theta or theta into x. So this is 1 by 2. So just I will replace theta. So we will get x upon r and theta dot is equal to x dot upon r. So 1 by 2 m x dot square plus this is 1 by 2 m r square by 2 and theta dot. So this is x dot. So it will become x dot square upon r square. Okay. So now just take 1 by 2 common. So we will write this relation in the standard form of kinetic energy. So 1 by 2 in bracket we have m plus m r square. So this will get cancelled, r square and r square. So m upon 2 into x dot square. Okay, so this is 1 by 2 in bracket, this is 3 by 2 m into x dot square. Okay, so this is total kinetic energy. So kinetic energy total, this is equal to 1 by 2 in bracket 3 by 2 m into x dot square. Okay, why I have written this in this format? Because we have standard relation for the kinetic energy is 1 by 2 m x dot square. Okay, so if you compare this, then this bracket, it will give the equivalent mass, because the given system, it is not a simple spring mass system, but whenever we find out the equation of motion, okay, that equation of motion, it will convert the given complex system into a simple spring mass system. Okay, so therefore I have written this so that we will get the equivalent mass of that system. That means I can represent this system, which is actually a rolling system, like this. Okay, so for this system, this mass, it will become the equivalent mass and K will be the equivalent stiffness. So this will represent the complete vibration of the given system. So here we have got the equivalent mass. So this is 1 by 2 m equivalent into x dot square, and m equivalent, this is equal to 3 by 2 into m. Okay, so this is equation for kinetic energy. Now find out the potential energy. So here the potential energy, it is only associated with this spring. Okay, if the system is like a pendulum, then we have to consider the potential energy stored in the mass. For such systems which have only linear motion, okay, we will not consider the potential energy in the mass. Okay, so the energy stored in the spring, so it is corresponding to its deformation. So its deformation is x, because spring is directly connected to center of gravity. So the spring energy, that is the potential energy, is equal to 1 by 2. Standard formula is 1 by 2 kx square. So x means the deformation of the spring. So this is the total potential energy. So here K will become equivalent stiffness. This K is directly K equivalent. So if you convert this system into this system, simple spring mass system, then M will be 3 by 2 M and K will be directly K equivalent, it will become directly K value. Now write the equation, kinetic energy plus potential energy is equal to constant. So I will write here 1 by 2. This is 3 by 2 m x dot square plus 1 by 2 kx square is equal to constant. Now differentiate this equation with respect to time. Take dx by dt. So you will get 1 by 2. This 3 by 2 m is constant. X dot square, it will become 2x dot into x double dot plus 1 by 2 2x into x dot, this is equal to 0. Okay, so you can cancel out 1 by 2, so remaining value is 3m into x dot into x double dot plus this is 2x into x dot is equal to 0. X dot x dot, so you can cancel out this x dot value, so remaining is 3m x double dot plus 2x is equal to 0 and x double dot plus 2 upon, sorry, so k, okay, so this is 2k upon 3m into x is equal to 0. Okay. So this is your equation of motion for the given system. And if you compare this equation with the simple harmonic motion, you will get the value. So this complete value is nothing but the omega n square. So that is equal to 2k upon 3m, and omega n is equal to square root 2k upon 3m. Okay. So this is how you can use the energy method and you can find out the natural frequency. So I will give one homework problem which is similar to this problem, but only change is the disk will not be rolling. So disk has only rotational motion. So this is the disk. Now disk is pivoted at its center, and this center is fixed. Now this disk at radius small r, one mass is connected by using a string. And on its circumference, one spring is connected, and this is fixed support. Okay. So you have to find out the omega n when this mass m is slightly displaced by displacement x in the downward direction, and then we release the force, mass will oscillate. For this vibration, we have to find out the omega n. So this disk, it is having the mass moment of inertia I about this point. Okay, do not find out the exact value because it is not the standard shape. So it is a compound disk. Its external radius, this is a capital R, and where this mass is connected, so this radius, this is the small r. Okay, here we cannot use directly I is equal to m r square by 2. We can use this formula only for a simple disk. Okay, for such compound disk, you just put the value I in the equation of motion as it is, or you can use this I0. This spring, it is having the stiffness k. Now, depending on the x value, you can draw the displaced position just to find out the deformation of the spring k. Okay, so basically, when you press the mass m by x displacement, the complete disk, it will rotate by small angular displacement theta. Okay, so because of this theta, there will be some deformation of the spring k. So if you consider this as a mean line for this spring k, after rotation, this spring or this point, it will just move upward somewhere here. So you will get this as a displacement. Okay, for a very small angle theta, this point, it will be just above, sorry, second point after deformation. So let us take this as a m, and this is the m dash. Okay, so they will be on the straight line only for very small angular displacement theta. Okay, so we have to find out this displacement so that we will get the potential energy, and then use kinetic energy plus potential energy is equal to constant and find out the omega n. So try to solve this problem.